Chapter 1 of Oliver Twist, protagonist and title character Oliver Twist is born in a workhouse, attended by a doctor with an old woman acting as a nurse. Oliver's mother, Agnes Fleming, was found the night before, lying in the street, and was brought to the workhouse. After Oliver's birth, she takes her son in her arms, kisses him, and dies. Leaving instructions for the baby to be fed gruel, a thin mixture of water and oats or other grains. If it cries, the doctor notes that the dead girl wears no wedding ring and leaves to go eat his dinner. The nurse swigs from a flask before wrapping Oliver in a blanket. In a moment of verbal irony, wherein characters say the opposite of what they mean, the narrator says that being born in the workhouse was the best thing for Oliver Twist that could possibly have occurred, because it forced him to overcome his breathing difficulties on his own. In Chapter 2 of Oliver Twist, unfortunate Oliver is transferred to a baby farm, where a fee is paid for the ongoing care of babies and children. So it is that old Mrs. Mann makes her living by raising poor orphaned children. At Mrs. Mann's baby farm, Oliver receives little food, clothing, care, or affection. Mrs. Mann is a total hypocrite. Her desire to live well leads her to starve the children in her care, all while claiming in a two-faced way that she couldn't see them suffer. She's given a small sum to take care of these poor kids, and she keeps the lion's share of it to herself. He's lucky to survive, as several other children do not. Many years pass, and on Oliver's 9th birthday, the parish beadle, or minor parish officer, Mr. Bumble, takes him back to the workhouse. Mr. Bumble tells Mrs. Mann that the parish has been unable to discover Oliver's identity despite their supernatural exertions. However, it is clearly implied that the parish leaders would hardly lift a finger on behalf of any of the orphans. Mrs. Mann gives Oliver a smidgen of bread and butter, but shakes her fist at him in bitter anger when Mr. Bumble's back is turned. At the workhouse, Oliver's job is to pick oakum, untangling old tar-covered ropes to make material used to seal a ship's seams. Under new regulations, the workhouse children are fed 3 meals of gruel per day, supplemented by occasional bits of bread. It's a bleak life. After 3 months of this regimen, the children are starving and desperate. Oliver and several others draw lots, and it becomes Oliver's task to ask for more food. After finishing his small bowl of gruel, he approaches the masters and utters the iconic line, "Please, sir, I want some more." Overcome with shock and fury by the impertinence of this demand, the master calls for Mr. Bumble, who informs the board. The board decides to offer Oliver as an apprentice, and one of them predicts that boy will be hung. The board is so disgusted by Oliver's meager request that they decide to offer a £5 reward to anyone who will take the boy away and out of their care.